Okay, so good day everyone, and you are watching now my discussion about the speech writing continuation. So basically, what we have in store for today, you're going to know what are the organizing content patterns. Second, the ways for you to develop your body. And then third, how to write the introduction and conclusion effectively. So these are our goals for today. And we have our just so you know of the week. So you will learn 3 new words for today. So we have the first word. Can you pronounce? Okay, so we have 3 pronunciations for this word. So we have foyer for the American English. We also have foyer for the British English, and then for French, we also have foyer. So basically, we have 3 pronunciations for this word. So regardless if what pronunciation you will follow, the meaning of this word is consistent all throughout. It means the lobby of a theater, a hotel, or apartment house. Second word that we have here, can you pronounce on your own? Okay, so it's pronounced as hyperbole. Okay, so the stress is on the second syllable, so it means an obvious or intentional exaggeration, and I know that you know this already. Okay, so third we have, please pronounce on your own. Okay, thanks. So it's pronounced as sherbet. Sherbet. So the stress is on the first syllable. So it is an artificial powder with a fruit flavor eaten as a sweet or used to make a drink, especially for children. Okay, so these are sweets that are eaten by children. And moving forward, we also have organizing content. Okay, so in organizing content, we have patterns to be followed, and the definition for each pattern will be sent to you during our asynchronous schedule because we are having this discussion for the reason that last Wednesday I was not able to discuss to you our lesson. So that is why we're having this YouTube discussion. Okay, so I'm gonna send to you the notes on our GC instead. Okay, so why is it important for us to organize the content of our body or basically our speech? Why is it important to organize the content? So we organize because we want the audience to easily comprehend and remember what we're trying to say to them, right? So we have 6 patterns that we use. So the first 3 are the following. We have time pattern, space pattern, problem solution pattern. So again, the definition for each pattern can be found on the GC. All right. So what it is when we say time pattern. So when we say time pattern, it is arranged in chronological order, meaning your thoughts are in sequence. Okay? So based on the example that we have here, how to write an essay or how to write a speech, okay? So you have your main point number 1, writing the body paragraphs. Second main point, writing the introductory paragraph. And then third, writing the concluding paragraph. So these 3 things are arranged in chronological order. And maybe you are wondering why is it that the number 1 main point is writing the body paragraphs and not the introductory paragraph. So let me give you the reason. The reason is that if you are to make an essay or make a speech, especially, you have first to start with the body because it gives you a sense of direction, okay, as to what kind of introduction or what introduction will you write, okay, and what conclusion will you write, okay. So if you start writing the body paragraph, then it would be easy for you to make the intro and make the conclusion afterwards. Then second, we have the space pattern. So it's very easy when we say space pattern, it's anything that concerns space, okay, the area. So we have here, for example, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So these three main points talk about space. Okay, so you can think of any place or any area, so it's automatically under space pattern. Then third, we have the problem solution pattern. So it's very easy too, because the thing that you will find here is that when you read a speech with a problem solution pattern used, you will see that the first paragraph discusses what the problem is all about. And then the second paragraph, you will notice that you will see there the solutions to the problem mentioned on the first paragraph. Okay, so looking the example that we have on the screen right here. Okay, so you have there the topic about depression, and then your first paragraph contains the definition, the causes and symptoms of depression. So basically, it talks about what the problem is all about. And then for solutions, you have there like therapy, medical treatment, support groups, lifestyle changes. Okay, so these are the first three patterns. Let's know what's next. So we also have the cause effect pattern. So what is this? Diba normally we know that when we use cause and effect, automatic, you have the cause and then you will have the effect afterwards. But when you write an essay or a speech, for example, your cause and effect should end with a solution. So how is this done? So for example, your topic is drug addiction. Your first paragraph will talk about the causes of drug addiction. Your second paragraph will talk about the effects of drug addiction, and then you will have your third paragraph, and that is talking about the treatments for drug addiction. So that's how we do cause and effect. Number five, we also have the topic pattern. So when we say topic pattern, what's the gist? What is this all about? Why do we have this? Topic pattern has subtopics. Okay, so for example that we have here, our topic is love languages, and you have there five main points, namely main point number one, time, main point two, touch, main point three, affirmations, then we have gifts, and then we have services. So these things are subtopics for the main topic, which is love languages. And why is it called topic pattern? Because each subtopic has a mini discussion. Okay? Meaning, for example, as what you can see on your screen, main point number one has a discussion. Why is it that time is one of the love languages? Same thing goes with touch, affirmations, gifts, and services. So if you have subtopics or a lot of topics that would relate to the topic assigned to you, then you will have to use topic pattern. All right? And then lastly, we have the motivated sequence pattern example. All right, so our topic right here is about fake news. So what is it that when we say motivated sequence? So basically, it's the extension of your problem solution. And motivated sequence follows five steps. Okay, so we have the attention step, the need step, the satisfaction step, the visualization step, and lastly, we also have the action step. So again, we have notes for this. Don't you worry because you can find the notes on your GC. So we have there, for example, your attention step can be found on the first paragraph. It's always found on the first paragraph. So we have there sample popular fake news. Then your need step is propagation of fake news. Then your satisfaction step, media literacy. Visualization is informed public analysis. And then lastly, the action step is appeal to stop spreading fake news. All right. So these are the patterns that you can use for you to organize the content of your speech. Next, we have developing body. So when we develop the body, we have to know what are the ways which we can develop the body according to what's what's the purpose of our speech. So when we develop the body of speech, it provides support for the main idea through details and examples. All right? Because the point that we have to develop our body is for discussion. So sometimes we do not know what approach or what kind of discussion do we want the audience to know. Okay? So we have here number 1, 2, and 3. So definitions. You can use definitions. So for example, your struggle is intermittent internet connection. Given the fact that the audience for your MPT is of any age group, you will have to use common language, meaning anyone can understand what you mean. But in the new normal setup that we have here, specifically in online distance learning, there are some technical terms that other people could not understand. So sometimes you have to use definition to give them a clear understanding if what is the word that you are speaking to them. So for example, your number one struggle or your number one main point for your body is intermittent internet connection. So not all people who would hear or who would listen to your speech know what it is when we say intermittent. So you can define first what is intermittent, because the goal of definition is to make the key terms of the speech clear. So you can do that. Okay. Another way to develop your body is using of illustrations. So what are illustrations? So these are examples used to demonstrate processes, concepts, or ideas. So this may be factual or hypothetical examples. So these are in your case, because your topic is about daily struggles of students in the new normal. So these are your experiences. Okay, so these are your experiences about the struggle that you have mentioned. And then third, we have analogies. So if you want to compare or indicate the similarities and differences between two ideas, so that's an analogy if you do that. So this may be demonstrated through literal or figurative comparisons. So yeah. So commonly, by the way, I'm going to share this to you. This will no longer be included in your exam, but I'd like to share this instead. So we have, by the way, types of analogies, because sometimes we tend to settle only that when we say analogies automatic, we are talking about the synonyms and antonyms. Well, in fact, it does not end that way. So we also have other types. We have part to whole, for example, battery to flashlight, hard drive to computer. Okay, so we know that battery is a part of flashlight, right? So we also have cause and effect. So we have there the cause, fatigue, and then the effect, you yawn. So cause, itching, the effect, you scratch. Then we also have person to situation, mother, home, teacher, school, uh, geography, Chicago, Illinois, Denver, Colorado, measurement, pound, kilogram, quart, liter, time, March, spring, December, winter. Okay, so just to give you a knowledge that analogies has types. It does not end automatic that we talk only about the synonym and antonym. It has other types. All right. And what else? Here, 4, 5, 6. So number 4, we have anecdotes. So these are brief stories that aim to prove a point. So you can use this way to develop your body. And commonly, you can use also anecdote when you make an introduction, right? But make sure that the story that you will make has something um, or is something that is relatable to the topic. Okay? And then number five, we have statistics. So these are the numbers that you use to prove a point. And then number six, we have testimony. So these are your quotable quotes, people, the quotations from famous people or information taken from studies by researchers and professionals. Okay, so these are just ways for you to develop your body, and it's still up to you what way will you use. But I suggest you can use anecdotes, illustrations, definitions, and testimony. All right, what else? All right, so here, introduction and conclusion. So if you have remembered last asynchronous time, last 2 weeks before the examination, I assigned you. Oh no, it was just this week, this Wednesday, that I was not able to meet you guys. So I assigned you Barack Obama's and Martin Luther's introduction and conclusion, and I told you that I'm gonna ask questions, so you have to be prepared. Well, in fact, it's just no, I'm not gonna ask any question because my point why I assigned you to that is that you have to be well aware of how the introduction and conclusion are done. Okay, you have to grasp what are the things that you have to consider when you write the introduction and conclusion. So as we all know, when we say introduction and conclusion, so this comprise less than 20% of the entire speech, but are nevertheless important parts of the speech. Because come to think of it, when we say introduction, it is equal to attention seeking part. Okay? Attention seeking part. And then when we say conclusion, it is equal to impact. All right? So these two important parts of speech are very important because it makes your speech effective. Okay? And also, before I forget, since you will be making an introduction and conclusion after this discussion, the number of paragraphs that I want you guys to make for introduction is only one. One paragraph for introduction and one paragraph for conclusion as well. Minimum of 5 sentences each paragraph. Okay, again, the introduction and conclusion that you will make is only one paragraph. 5 sentences minimum. Now, if you want to extend or to have more than one paragraph, you can. As long as you can memorize it, I have no problem with it. All right? So, what are the tips that I'm going to say with you about introduction and conclusion? So, when it comes to introduction, what are the things that you have to remember? Number one, you have to state the main idea and its importance. State the main idea. So your main idea, again, is your topic. Daily struggles of students in the new normal. Well, you can personalize it. You can say, my daily struggle as a student in the new normal. You can do that. Okay? So why is it important that you have to state it? Because it will give um, your audience a heads up that, hey, okay, I'm gonna listen to the struggles. They would know what are they going to listen to your speech. And why is it important for them to know your struggles? Another tip, you give them a background by clarifying the speech purpose. So, diba, you have three purposes. It's either you inform them, you persuade them, or you entertain them. So, you have to be clear. Introduction pa lang niya, you know that as an audience, gets ko na nga, okay. So the public speaker wants me to be entertained. Okay? Third, you give a preview of the main topic. Same thing before you watch a movie. There's a trailer, there's a preview, so you can do that. Give them what's in store for them, but do not give all in just introduction. So give them the struggles maybe, but the specific ones, no, don't discuss it yet. Fourth, aims to draw the attention and interest of the audience. So this is the main goal of introduction. You get their interest. So how? How are you going to get the interest of your audience? Number one, tip. You give them complimentary remarks. So how is this done? Have you heard your teacher when you were in junior high school? He or she would say, to Honorable Judge Churva, to our principal, to our honorable mayor, a pleasant morning to all. So that's giving your audience a complimentary remark. You can do that. That's one way. Second, you refer to the prior knowledge or the interests of the audience. So it is the same thing with asking a rhetorical question. You can ask them, do you know what it feels like to be a student in the new normal? Have you ever tried not sleeping for 24 hours because you have to finish all the assignments assigned to you? Have you ever skipped a meal just because you wanted to finish your exam on time? Okay, you can do that. You can give them a question, you can give them a prior knowledge that would interest them as to why would they listen to you. Also, don't forget to identify how the topic is significant to the audience. So your audience is of any age group, meaning um, maybe one of their siblings, one of their daughters or sons or relatives are a student as too in the new normal. So they would know what it feels like to be a student, okay, in the midst of pandemic. And then we also have you cite them an interesting information. It's like giving them a narrative. So you can say, you can give them a brief story. For example, it was 12:05 a.m. last Saturday when I woke up because I just missed the 11:59 deadline. Okay, those stuff you can do that. Give them a short storytelling. When you do that, you are using anecdote already. So I mentioned using or asking a rhetorical question. Okay, last, you make use of an anecdote, humor, or a quotable quote. So it's up to you. You have the freedom. What type or what kind of introduction would you like your audience to have? Okay, and I will no longer check your introduction and conclusion, by the way, because I don't want to spoil what you have written. I want to be surprised on December 11. Okay. So you can take a screenshot of this, guys. Okay. All right. Thank you. And moving forward, we have the conclusion. So the last one. So what are the things that you have to remember here? Well, you have to review the thesis and the key points and the ending. So when we say thesis, it's the thesis statement. Okay? It's where your topic sentence and your main idea can be found. So, your topic sentence is, or your thesis statement is, your daily struggles as a student in the new normal. Okay? So, you review the key points. So, you give them the two or three main points that you have, or the struggles that you have. Okay? And then give them a strong final remark. You can also restate or paraphrase the thesis statement and summarize the supporting details. Also, if sa introduction nga part you have thrown a question to your audience, in conclusion, you have to answer the question that you thrown to your audience. Am I making myself clear? If nag-question ka sa introduction mo, have or do you know what it feels like to be a student in the new normal? Well, you have to answer it. Therefore, you know what it feels like to be a student in the new normal. Sa conclusion nga part. Okay? So, take note lang that when we write conclusion, we are giving an impact to our audience. We are giving them the idea that they will remember. So, use or choose your words wisely. So, the speech is not complete without transition words. So we have transition words to provide coherence to a story, to bridge the gap, to provide signal to the reader or listener about what is coming next in the writing. So I have here some transition words for you guys. Please screenshot. So if you want to open the paragraph, you can use these words. If you want to have a cause and effect, you can use these words. If you want to restate your point, you can say that is to say, one such. If you want to conclude, you can say all things considered, in final consideration, in final analysis. You can do that. Also, we have here, okay, if you want to put an emphasis, you can use this. Addition, you can use this too. And contrast, you can use this too. And time, you can use this too. So, why do I represent you with these transition words? Because maybe you want to widen your vocabulary. Maybe if you're tired of using because, so, and you can use other things. Okay? So if you have questions, I will be online the whole day today, since you will know, you will view this video during our asynchronous schedule. So I will be online the whole day, of course, as usual. I have my class in masters every Saturday, so I'm online. And if you have questions, you can just DM me. And what are you gonna do after you have watched this video? So you may now start writing your introduction and conclusion. Take note, one paragraph only for introduction, one paragraph also for conclusion, a minimum of 5 sentences only. If you want to exceed, no problem with me. Okay? So that ends my discussion today, and I'm sorry if I have no video because I'm really not feeling well until now. But my voice is giving up, so I'm sorry if my voice is not that good enough on your end. But I hope that you will watch this video because it's very important. Right? So have a great day. Happy writing.